Good morning, everyone. My name is Ed Kaminishi, and I am Kaye Kaminishi's son. Welcome to our celebration of life for Dad, Koichi Kaye Kaminishi. Dad would probably be very happy to see all of you here. But then on the other hand, Dad will be annoyed because Dad, if you know Dad, he didn't like all this fuss and muss. So it's sort of a fine line. Welcome also to the video streaming viewers, and we're being video streamed on the internet. My sister, Joyce, her husband, Ray Shimokura, their son, Kenny, his girlfriend, Tamara, and I would like to thank everyone for taking time out of your busy lives to come here and celebrate with us. And I know this is everyone's probably, some of the flight attendants are gonna laugh, but we have, before I start, I have to explain about the fire. If we have an emergency situation, the emergency exits are on the back, on the side, and so I didn't do it the way Air Canada flight attendants do it. So. We started off thinking about having a small gathering, and it turned into quite a major production. So afterwards, I'd like to thank everyone for all their help. I'm going to be your host for today's program. This morning's agenda, hopefully, will be a short one. And on your table, you'll see that there's a order of service. And we'll have, starting off with a blessing. We originally had Sensei Ikuta, but he has a family situation that he could not make it. So instead, we'll have Fujikawa Sensei to give us a blessing for the service. We have some tributes, and you can see they're quite elegant tributes. Myself and Kenny, my nephew, will give some eulogies. We'll have some slideshow. And one of the things Dad told me, a long time ago, he says, no crying at his funeral. And I'm not sure if he picked that line up from, there's a show called A League of Their Own with Tom Hanks and Gina Davis. And Tom Hanks, being the coach, was saying, there's no crying in baseball. So I'm not sure if Dad got that or Tom Hanks got the line from Dad. So instead of being a little no crying at my baseball, we're gonna have some fun. One of the items that Dad really wanted to do is have everyone sing his favorite song, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And the music will be played by Mr. Al Foreman. And then we have some thank yous and acknowledgements. We have a blessing for lunch, and the best part is lunch. So starting off, I would like to ask Fujikawa Sensei to come up and just give a blessing for us. Thank you.
If this is a baseball game, it's a strange game because I'm a first batter pinch hitting. Shall we have a mokuso? Mokuso お願いします。Let's have a silent meditation for a while. Namandavu, Namandavu, Namandavu. Kaminishi kudoku byodo seisai, dohotsu bodaishin, ojo anrakko. Namandavs, Namandav, Namandavs, 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 Namandavs. It is indeed great honor to have known this gentleman, legendary character, Mr. Kaye Koichi Kaminishi, for over half a century since I started to serve Okanagan Buddhist temples, namely Kelowna, Vernon, Kamloops in 1970. Those days, the Kaminishi family was very busy with the motel business, but he was always one of the first people to volunteer for Kamloops Buddhist temple. I guess that was his family tradition, as his father was once the president of Vancouver Buddhist temple in 1930s. Today, one thing I'd like to share is a question. You know, after living 100 years of long human life, where is Mr. Kaminishi now? According to our Buddhist belief, he has gone to the pure land of Amida Buddha. Amida Nyorai no ojodo ni 往生されたわけですね。Pure Land is described as a world of Muryoju Muryoko, Muryoju Muryoko, which is the land of infinite light and life. Infinite light and life. As you know, the light has something to do with the space, as we can see the space with the light. On the other hand, life has something to do with the time. For example, I'm 83 years old and I lived my life for 83 years. Therefore, the Pure Land is a world of permanent space and permanent time. Or you can say wherever and whenever. Yes, wherever and whenever. That is the world of Ojodo, a Pure Land. Although we cannot see Mr. Kaye Kaminishi anymore, we cannot hear him anymore, he exists like air. We inhale and exhale 24 hours a day. My conclusion, yes, Mr. Kaminishi is right here and now. Thank you very much. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei. I would like to ask the Japan Consul General Takahashi to give a few words for us. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Takahashi Yoshiaki, and I am the Consul General of Japan in Vancouver. It is a profound honor to join you today as we gather to remember and celebrate the extraordinary life of Mr. Kaye Kaminishi. Although I did not have the privilege of meeting Mr. Kaminishi in person, I quickly came to learn about this remarkable legacy upon my arrival in Vancouver last October. It became clear to me that he was not only the last surviving member of the storied Vancouver Asahi baseball team, but also a cherished figure in the Japanese-Canadian community, a symbol of resilience, quiet strength, and dignity. Mr. Kaminishi embodied the values that defined Asahi: perseverance, teamwork, and humility. These values live on today in the young players of the Vancouver Asahi baseball team, who carry forward the Asahi spirit he helped preserve. Through baseball exchanges with their peers in Japan, including their 10th anniversary tour just last month, these young ambassadors are building bridges of friendship and deepening mutual understanding between our two nations. In helping to nurture the spirit and pass it on to future generations, Mr. Kaminishi played a vital role in strengthening the bonds between Japan and Canada. For this, and for many other contributions, he was rightfully recognized with the Japan Consul General's commendation by my predecessor. Today, I offer my deepest respects to Mr. Kaminishi. His legacy continues to inspire us all, and I'm truly honored to be part of this special occasion in this memory. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Takahashi-san. I'd like to ask now Mr. Ray Gardner, who's representing the Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. It's my pleasure to be here today and represent the words of Mayor Ken Sim of the City of Vancouver. I'm the Department Sergeant Major with the Vancouver Police Department, and that's how, of course, I know Ken. I'm also a volunteer with the Asahi Baseball Association. So there's a connection on all fronts. Mayor Ken Sim deeply regrets he couldn't be here today, but he did write a letter and he asked me to read it. Dear Joyce, Ed, the Kaminishi family and friends, on behalf of the City of Vancouver, I want to extend my heartfelt condolences and sympathies on the passing of a remarkable Vancouverite and historian and historic Canadian whose legacy has touched generations, Kaye Koichi Kaminishi. Born in Vancouver in 1922, Kaye returned to his hometown in 1933 with a passion for baseball that led him to join the legendary Vancouver Asahi in 1939. At just 17 years old, he took to third base as a rookie and quickly became a fan favorite at the Powell Street grounds in Oppenheimer Park. As a member of the Vancouver Asahi, Kaye represented the hopes and pride of Vancouver's Japanese-Canadian community at a time when they were denied basic rights, opportunities, and recognition. The Asahi were more than just a baseball team. They were a symbol of strength and dignity in the face of discrimination, winning championships across the Pacific Northwest and inspiring fans across the country. Kaye's story was one not just of skill and talent, but of perseverance and resilience. During World War II, after the Imperial Japanese forces attacked Pearl Harbor and Hong Kong in December 1941, the government of Canada unjustly detained, disposed, and dispersed 22,000 Japanese Canadians for the remainder of the war. The Vancouver Asahi baseball team was disbanded, and Kaye and his teammates were sent to internment camps or went back to Japan. Throughout unimaginable hardships while interned in Lillooet, Kaye stayed true to his values. Through baseball, he brought people together, breaking down barriers and building community, showing that compassion, respect, and determination can triumph over injustice. In the words of our friends at the Asahi Baseball Association, Kaye always believed in playing with honor, respect, loyalty, and sportsmanship. Virtues that we should all live by. These are the same values Kaye carried with him throughout his life, in his work, in his relationships, and in his enduring love for his community. In 2014, the creation of Shin Asahi Baseball honored Kaye's legacy and the team that helped shape Vancouver's history. And last year, the city of Vancouver had the privilege of proclaiming January the 11th, Kaye's 102nd birthday, as Vancouver Asahi Day. Kaye was a champion for Japanese Canadians in Vancouver and for our entire city. In his efforts to fight against discrimination, grow the game he loved, and uplift his community, he has left a legacy that has lasted for over 100 years and will continue to last for many years to come. On behalf of the City of Vancouver and residents across our city, thank you, Kaye. We are forever grateful for your strength, your spirit, and your extraordinary life. Sincerely, Mayor Ken Sim, City of Vancouver.
Thank you, Ray, and thank you, Mayor Ken Sim. I'd like to ask the Asahi Baseball Association to say a few words with Mr. John Wong. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Ed. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Wong, and I'm the president and one of the founding members of the Shin Asahi Baseball Association. I'm truly honored to have this opportunity to pay tribute to Kaye on behalf of the association. I thank the Kaminishi and the Shimakura family for allowing me to do this. We come together today to honor and celebrate the remarkable life of Kaye, a man whose 102 years on this earth left a lasting impact far beyond the baseball field. Kaye was the last surviving member of the legendary Asahi Baseball Association, a team that was more than just a team. It was a beacon of pride, unity, resilience for the Japanese Canadian community during some of the most challenging times in their history. As a third baseman, Kaye was known for his speed, his sharp instinct, and his love of the game, but he was so much more than an athlete. He was a symbol of quiet strength, humility, and grace. His athleticism was not limited to baseball alone. Even into his 90s, Kaye played badminton competitively, winning numerous championships with the same passion and drive that defined his baseball career. The fact that he kept his faculties sharp until the very last day is nothing short of remarkable. And I'm hoping that I could be as sharp as that when I'm 102 years old. So it's just truly amazing. A standard many of us can only hope to match. His legacy continues to inspire all of us, and I've been fortunate to witness that inspiration firsthand. One of my most powerful memories is from the inaugural Shinasai game in 2014 where Shinasai all started. That day, Kaye threw out the ceremony first pitch alongside Consul General Okada. It was a powerful and emotional moment, a symbol of history, renewal, and unity. I was fortunate last month, I happened to meet up with the previous Consul General Okada in Japan, and we spoke fondly about that moment. And he shared how deeply honored he'd felt to have stood next to Kaye on that field. To throw the first pitch together at such a historic event, it's a memory he cherishes and one that I'll never forget. Another unforgettable experience was at the Kamloops Fall Tournament where I happened to be part of the coaching staff, and we happened to put our first team to go to Kamloops in 2015. Kaye in his 90s at the time drove himself to the game and sat on the bench with us, quietly watching, supporting, encouraging the players. That day, Asahi won the championship, and it was our great honor to present Kaye with the championship trophy. His presence lifted the team. You could really feel it. His quiet pride, his calm energy, his ability to bring out the best in everyone. That was his gift. He didn't just represent excellence, he inspired it in others. His motto was to play hard, but play with great sportsmanship, which I know he has instilled in our players today. And the community recognized that on January 1st, 2024, Kaye's 102nd birthday. The city of Vancouver officially proclaimed it Vancouver Asadi Day in his honor. And we've had many commendations from the Consul General's office, the heritage stamp, even a painting portrait of him recognizing how important he is to this community. It's obviously a powerful tribute to both Kaye's legacy and enduring impact that Asahi had on the community. And we remember Kaye today. We also recognize that those who are working tirelessly to ensure that the Asahi legacy lives on. To Norio Goto, the respected sportscaster in Japan, thank you for your moving book on Asahi, which continues to educate and inspire. To Torio Nakanishi for your incredible work at the Immigration Museum in Yokohama, where the Asahi story is preserved for future generations through a powerful exhibit that they have there. And to Yobun Shima and Satoshi Matsumiya, whose dedicated research and commitment continue to uncover and share the depth and meaning of the Asahi legacy. With Kaye's passing, it becomes even more important that we continue telling these stories, that we keep the Asahi spirit alive. Thanks to all of you, and to every player, coach, and supporter who carries that legacy forward. We know the future of the Asahi story is in good hands. Today, we celebrate not just a remarkable man, but a remarkable movement that he helped shape and carry forward. It was certainly his inspiration that Shinasai exists today to carry on the Asahi torch. Thank you, Kaye, for your strength, your grace, your unwavering spirit. You may have left the field, but your story continues in every game, every memory, every life you've touched. Rest in peace, Kaye. We will never forget you.
Thank you, John. I would like to ask Lillooet family friend Laura Saimoto to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Saimoto. I'm a longtime family friend of the Kaminishi family. And also, you probably all know that I'm very active in preserving and Japanese Canadian history and heritage. I know he said not to cry, but I often do, so he knows that. I first got to know Kaye and his wife, Flo, when we were kids through the Vancouver Buddhist Temple. They were good friends with our parents and were very active and dedicated members of the temple. My parents were leaders at the Vancouver Buddhist Temple, so we would see them at the annual provincial temple conventions. At that time, I had no idea he was a famous Asahi player and was also interned in the same internment camp as our mother, East Lillooet. It was really only 20 years ago when I was putting together the Centennial History book of the Vancouver Japanese Language School that I started to get to know him. And only in the past 10 years, I got to know him a lot better as I started to dig deep into Japanese Canadian history and lead Japanese Canadian heritage projects. Kaye, in his humble yet powerful way, forged a legacy by shining a light on the Asahi baseball team legendary story, and then by empowering the new Shin Asahi team to carry on the love of baseball to today's generation. Kaye was not only a baseball activist, but again, in his humble yet powerful way, he was at the same time a Japanese Canadian community and heritage activist. Because when we look at the impact and symbol of what the Asahi team brought to the Japanese Canadian community, we can understand how powerful its impact and his leadership was for the community. So I'd like to talk about Kaye's early history, his steadfast support for community and what this looked like. Born in Vancouver in 1922, Kaye was sent to Japan for his early schooling in Hiroshima. He was the son, his dad was a well-to-do businessman who was co-owner of Royston Lumber Company on Vancouver Island, close to Fanny Bay in the Comox Valley. Royston was a very big operation. The mill produced about 45,000 board feet of lumber per day and was valued in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. When his father suddenly died, Kaye returned to Vancouver when he was 11 years old and joined his mother to help her run their rooming house that she owned called Dunlevy Rooms on the corner of Dunlevy and Powell. A 60-unit building, it was home to loggers and laborers. The 3-story brick building was kitty corner from home plate at the Powell Street grounds, which is now Oppenheimer Park, which was the home of the pre-war Asahi baseball team. Even when he was supposed to be doing homework or chores, Kaye made sure to sit by the window so he could watch the baseball action across the street. Upon his return to Vancouver, he attended Lord Strathcona Elementary School and then King Edward High School. Then after school, he would attend Japanese language school from Monday to Friday after regular school. He once told me, "I was not a good student. I was always dreaming of baseball in class." And then thank you. And then I confided in him, "Hey, me too. I was always sleeping in class." And we both had a good laugh. In 1939, when he joined the Asahi baseball team as a rookie, he played mostly third base. It was about this time, from 1937 to 1941, the team won 5 consecutive Pacific Championships, which was a white league. It is well known that Asahi used the strategy of brain ball rather than brawn ball to overcome the size and power of white players. This involves strategic bunting and squeezing and tight teamwork, using strategic brain power to make up for the lack of physical size and power. With the outbreak of the Pacific War after Pearl Harbor, Kaye's family were forcibly relocated to the self-supporting camp of East Lillooet. Kaye was 20 years old. There is a wonderful photo of Kaye, very dapper in a double-breasted suit, standing in front of his car in East Lillooet, one of the only families that had a vehicle in the camp. Times were tough in the camp as there was nothing there. Basically, the internees had to build everything themselves on empty farm fields. They had to build their shacks, plan and build how to get fresh water and plumbing, and also the internees built their own community school for primary grades. In order for the internees to generate some form of income, Japanese Canadians introduced tomato farming to Lillooet. And being so successful, they built a tomato cannery to increase production and net profit even more. When I interviewed Kaye about the tomato cannery, we got it recognized an industrial heritage site by Heritage BC in 2024. He recalled, yes, it was hard work, but he remembers the good smell of tomatoes cooking. He also told me that picking tomatoes was really hard work and paid 25 cents an hour. But then he got a job with BC Electric that paid 45 cents an hour. So he smiled and he said he took that job. In addition to building basic infrastructure for the families, the internees also built a baseball field in the camp. There is a wonderful photo of this baseball field where camp residents, led by Kaye and other baseball players, played baseball. This provided much needed normalization and lift for the camp residents to build community life again in the middle of nowhere, because everyone, of course, was crazy about baseball. Kaye led the asking the RCMP and white townsfolk to come and play exhibition games with the internee residents. This led to the melting of racial segregation with the white town, located on the west side of the Fraser River, and the East Lillooet camp, which was located on the east side of the river. The one bridge, called the Old Bridge, was the only way to get into the white town from the east side. At the beginning of the internment, Japanese Canadians were prohibited from crossing this bridge because an RCMP guard stood guard at the entrance of the bridge. This is why the internment camp is called East Lillooet, because Japanese Canadians were not allowed to cross the bridge to go into the white town on the west side of the river. Playing baseball together with the RCMP and the white townsfolk paved the way for Japanese Canadians to go into the town. This was huge for camp residents. This eventually helped open the door for internee high school students to be able to attend Lillooet High School in the town. Prior to this, camp teenagers like Dr. Hori, sitting over there on the two East Lillooet tables, I think Dr. Hori, table 12, they took their high school courses by correspondence before they were allowed to attend Lillooet High School. And so thanks in large part to baseball and Kaye, our mother, Ritsu Enjo, was also able to attend Lillooet High School and then later UBC to become a teacher. And so with Kaye's leadership, through his love of baseball, even in the toughest of situations, of losing everything and being forced to live in the middle of nowhere, he helped to take down racial walls, which was, in Lillooet's case, access to the town and its amenities. And really, this was the Asahi way. Pre-war, it was through baseball that, in spite of the harsh discrimination towards Japanese Canadians, through love of the sport, it became an equal playing field where race did not matter. Just the love of the game and the love of playing together. What mattered was good sportsmanship and good baseball. Lastly, I wanted to mention how committed Kaye was to supporting community. Whether this be the Shin Asahi, the Kamloops Buddhist Temple, the Vancouver Japanese Language School, the Nikkei National Museum, Tajmi Museum, and also our East Lillooet Seniors Garden Committee, who built the East Lillooet Memorial Garden up in Lillooet. He did this in a humble, quiet way, especially in his later years. But the main thing he did was to show up. Whenever the Japanese Language School held our Gakuyukai senior alumni luncheons, and he was in town, he would show up. Whenever he was asked to do an interview or come to an event, he would show up. With all the awards and commendations he received, like the Sports Hall of Fame, he was a very busy guy. But he always did his best to show up for the community. And really, being supported by such a solid family, he was able to do that. In May 2022, when we held the opening ceremony of the East Lillooet Memorial Garden renewal, Joyce brought Kaye to Lillooet so that he could be with all the senior East Lillooet internees and the Minister of Transportation, Rob Fleming, to cut the opening red ribbon. On this momentous day, he wore his Asahi baseball cap and his Asahi t-shirt under his blazer. And the seniors all cut the ribbon together, symbolizing how together we can honor our history with each other, remember, and heal. And so, Kaye, I have learned from your deep love of sport and to use your brain ball strategy when there is an unequal playing field. I am inspired by your love and faith in man, family, and community. And lastly, you model to me what it means to be committed to showing up in the world to make it better and to show up for what you love. All done with quiet grace and a saintly kind of humility, except when watching Canucks games. For this, Kaye, I am deeply humbled, I am deeply grateful, and I'm deeply honored to have known you. Thank you for leading the way. Your legacy lives on with us. Gokuro-sama deshita. Please keep supporting us from upstairs. Kokoro yori kansha shitemasu. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. I learned a few things about Dad. He got paid more than I did. We're going to continue on with the eulogy section, and I'll start off with my eulogy. I think Laura gave a better description about Dad, so I may skip some of my stuff. I was going to ask, does anyone need a 7th inning stretch? Koichi Kaye Kaminishi was born January 11th, 1922 in Vancouver. And like Laura said, his dad owned the Royston Sawmill in Cumberland on Vancouver Island, so he didn't see Dad too much. He lived with his mom, who ran the boarding house on Dunleavy Street in Japantown, Vancouver. He would go see Dad once in a while, or his dad would come and see him occasionally throughout the year. When Dad was 5 years old, his parents decided to send him to Japan to get an education. So Dad gave up his friends, his familiar surroundings, and was sent to Hiroshima, staying with his aunt Motoe. He went to school with his older cousin Ichiro Omai, and they became best friends. Dad said they got into a lot of mischief together. Yanchako, they said. Dad told me a lot of good stories when he was growing up in Hiroshima. He attended school till grade 5, and tragically his dad passed away in Vancouver on February 3rd, 1933. And his dad was only 53 years old. So his mom came to get him and brought him back to Vancouver. It was quite a culture shock for Dad when he came back. Dad's first language, Japanese, and his English was very poor. And like Laura said, Dad continued his schooling at Lord Strathcona Elementary School and attended the Vancouver Japanese School at the same time. And he continued on to King Edward High School. Dad played all types of sports in those days. Baseball, table tennis, bowling, lacrosse, badminton. He said even roller skate hockey. But Dad loved the baseball the most and played it all the time. And he was good enough to be drafted by the Asahi Baseball Club in 1939 when he was only 17 years old. When the war broke out, Dad and his mom were sent to East Lillooet internment camp. He said his prime Asahi baseball playing days had ended and were taken away from him. Like Laura said, life at East Lillooet was not easy, as all Japanese internees across BC found out. Dad said, there's nothing there. No place to stay, no water, no electricity. During their stay in Lillooet, they found out that the Royston sawmill and all the assets and forest claims had been expropriated and sold by the government of Canada without their consent. After the war, Dad and his mom moved to Kamloops to start their lives over again and rebuild. They also had to fight the federal government for compensation for the Royston sawmill and its investors. Dad and his mom worked hard in Kamloops and were at least able to save up and buy a house on 905 St. Paul Street. During his time in Kamloops, Dad helped build the Kamloops Buddhist Temple. Dad married Florence Naoko Kobayashi from Winfield, Okanagan, BC on May 8, 1950. Their first child was born, my sister Joyce. She was September 1951. The whole family then moved to Hope, BC in late 1951 and operated the Lid Elm Motel. They had another child, me. So I was born in November 1954. And I have to apologize for Mom, because in Hope, there was no hospital. So I was born in Chilliwack. That must have been quite a drive for Dad and Mom to go from Hope to Chilliwack. They sold the motel and returned to Kamloops in 1958, and they bought and ran the Mayfair Motel on Sunset Drive in Valley View. Dad sold the motel in 1968 and worked for the BC Liquor Store for 15 years until he had to retire at the age of 65. He enjoyed working with his colleagues and meeting all the customers. Dad was heavily involved with the Kamloops Buddhist Temple, serving on the board as district representative, treasurer, vice president, then president. He was also part of the executive Kamloops Japanese Community Association and the president of the Kamloops Japanese Seniors Club. Dad was also an honorary member of the International Lions Service Club, serving for over 50 years with the Kamloops Aberdeen Lions Club branch. He was also involved in coaching and umpiring players in the Kamloops Baseball Club. He played badminton for many years, and Dad participated and won many BC Senior Game medals in singles and doubles badminton for over 20 years. Dad worked hard, just like all of you here today, and had many difficult times in his life. But I found out, talking with Dad, it was not all a rugged road for him. One thing that Dad loved so much opened so many doors of opportunity for him, and it was baseball. In East Lillooet, during his internment days, the BC provincial policeman, Jack Dowling, used to watch Dad play baseball with the young kids in the camp. One day, Dad asked Jack, why don't you go into town and get some ball players together and come play with us? Jack, being very sports-minded, says, hey, that's a great idea. So Jack went into town, gathered up some people, and came to play with them. It broke down the racial barriers between the locals and the Japanese. It gave the Lillooet Japanese their freedom. A person from the town baseball team offered Dad a job at the Seaton Lake BC Hydro Dam, like Laura mentioned. He told me he got paid 25 cents. Laura said he got paid 45 cents. And all he did was just sit there and watch the water flow. Policeman Jack Dowling offered to teach Dad how to drive since he had a car. And it gave him a road test, which led to his driver's license. After the war, Dad and his mom moved to Kamloops. And Dad tried out for a position with a CYO, Catholic Youth Organization, baseball team, and also the Elks baseball team. The CYO wanted Dad to play right away. How Dad, a Buddhist, got onto a Catholic baseball team is a mystery to me. I've been asking someone, could you please explain that to me? The CYO pitcher was the commanding officer at the Army base in Kamloops. And he asked Dad, why don't you come and work at the ammunition depot base for us? So he went to work, and after a couple of weeks, he was asked to come inside and do some typing. At that time, Dad had an opportunity to meet Prime Minister John Diefenbaker when he visited the Army base. Another teammate offered Dad and his mom a job packing tomatoes at the warehouse on East Victoria Street. Dad met Mom during a baseball road game to Kelowna, and they were married in 1950. When Dad sold the Mayfair Motel in 1968, he met up with an old baseball teammate of his who offered him a job at the BC liquor store. After the war, the policeman from Lillooet, Jack Dowling, retired and lived in Salmon Arm. He and Dad stayed close and remained friends forever. When Jack passed away, it broke Dad's heart. Dad's CYO teammates all stayed close, and he always mentioned their names. Then, the Asahi Revival Days started. Dad's second life started when he was 80 years old. Jeez. The 1992 book, Asahi, A Legend in Baseball, written by Pat Adachi, started it all. In 1993, Dad was asked to light the game flame for the Canadian Summer Games that were held in Kamloops. In 2002, the National Film Board's Sleeping Tiger, the Asahi Story movie, produced by Jerry Osborne, was released. In June 2003, the Asahi baseball team was inducted into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in St. Mary's, Ontario. The Asahi baseball team was inducted into the BC Sports Hall of Fame in Vancouver in 2005. Then in 2011, Dad was inducted into the Kamloops Sports Hall of Fame. In 2014, the Japanese film Vancouver Asahi was released, and Dad had a cameo appearance in the movie. Also, that same year, the Shin Asahi second-generation baseball team was resurrected with Josh Coward's vision. Dad was so proud and so happy of that. In 2016, Dad was recognized by the Japanese Canadian Cultural Centre in Toronto, Ontario, with the Sakura Award. In February 2019, Historical Canada created a Heritage Minute on the Vancouver Asahi, which Dad did the narration. Also that year, Dad was honored with the Nikkei Place Thomas Shoyama Lifetime Achievement Award. Lots of things happened to Dad in 2019. In 2019, the Asahi baseball team was recognized and honored by Canada Post with the issue of the team picture on the Canadian stamp. And just recently, the City of Vancouver and Mayor Ken Sim declared Vancouver Asahi Day on January 11th, 2024, which happened to be Dad's 102nd birthday. Who could have asked for anything else in their acknowledgments in life? Sort of a funny story. 2 days prior to Dad passing away, he and I went to the post office to go get his new passport. When we got home, I told him, Dad, now that you got your new passport, you can go anywhere in the world. Well, 2 days later, he did, and beyond. Dad passed away quietly. Typical of Dad, no fuss, no muss. And I think some of you know Dad. That's his way. Saturday, September 28th, 7:30 in the morning. Joyce, Ray, and I were actually very grateful that we were right beside Dad when he was called up by his Asahi teammates. Thank you. I'd like to ask my nephew, Kenny, to say a few words, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I'd like to say thank you for everyone attending my grandpa's celebration. It means the world to myself and the family seeing everyone here today. Koichi Kaye Kaminishi was an amazing, selfless, and generous individual whom I will forever be honored to share a name with. On top of all his work with the Asahi, the church, Lions Club, communities, and various associations, he also worked hard at being the best grandfather one could ever ask for. There are too many memories to count of all the amazing things he did for me and the family. One thing he loved to do with the family was play games, and he was pretty darn good at them. He was the best crib player anyone could ask for, always seemed to know which cards exactly the partner needed for their crib. He could put spin on the ball in table tennis that was incredible and almost impossible to return. He was a gold medal winner for multiple consecutive years in badminton, and yes, I'm counting the years outside the ones where he was the only participant in the 90-plus category. He was super accurate when we played crokinole, and he was competitive when we played Remoli. He loved playing that game when the family was together during the holidays. I think he also ended up being one of the great teachers of my life as well, as evidenced by raising 2 career teachers who I know have had major impacts on many people's lives. He taught me how to never grow old by jumping on the beds at the hotels and the BC Seniors games. He taught me how to respect tradition by having noodles and black beans at New Year's and eating your Asian mochi, which got pretty tough when he hit the century mark there. He taught me to enjoy life, have a Coors Light beer every night and put salt on your bacon. Turns out that may just end up preserving your organs till when you're 100. He also taught me how to have a great, long-loving 60-plus year marriage. Eat, finish, and be on your way out as grandma sits down. But hey, at least they never had a fight that I saw. He taught me sportsmanship, as every time there was a game, win or lose, he would always be respectful and have fun. He taught me patience. With all his fame later in life, he would always stop to talk to people and take hours and hours of interviews, or wait patiently so everyone could have a picture with him. However, the most important thing I think he ever taught me was how to forgive. He had a very tough life, having everything taken away and shipped away from home to conditions that are unimaginable today. Despite all this, he never complained. He always loved Canada and was a proud Canadian. I often wondered why he loved going to Hastings Racecourse so much. How can you go back to the place where you experienced the worst conditions imaginable? How can you sit in the stands just 100 meters away from where you were mistreated so poorly and looked down upon? I realize now, though, maybe he just forgave Canada, the conditions and the mistreatment he endured, and now, sitting in the stands instead of behind the fences, he was a winner, no matter the outcome of the race happening now. Thank you, Grandpa, for everything you taught me and everyone around you.
Are you sure that was the same relative as mine? 'Cause, that didn't sound like when I was growing up. Thank you, Kenny. We have a slideshow presentation for you next.
く頃には花として咲かせてあげたい。泣きなさい笑いなさい、いつの日か花を咲かそうよ。
泣きなさい
咲き風を呼び嵐が来たしみはしまわ
Wow. I don't think I can achieve half of those. But yeah, Dad did so much, and I didn't realize until we started putting it all together that he had done so much. The next item is we're going to have a little fun. It's a 7th inning stretch. And you know what they do at the ball games? You have to stand up and sing, "Take me out to the ball game." So could you all join us in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"? And we have Mr. Al Foreman doing the music for us. If you don't know the words are on the back of the agenda. So.
I just want to say before I begin what an honor it is here to be here. I thank the family for inviting me to do this. Very cool. So the words are in front of you, and we have to let her rip so they can hear it in Kamloops, right? You ready? I'll give you a little counting. 1, 2, 3, and sing. Take me out to the ball game. Come on. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, and we'll root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Here we go. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3. Oh, ball game. Well done.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Al. I can't sing, so that's why I wasn't up here. I'd just like to take a few moments to express our appreciation and gratitude. Thank you for all of you here today for putting up with our stories and memories about Dad. Some of you have come a long ways. Kitchener-Waterloo, our friends from Seattle, so not far and wide. Thank you, Fujikawa-sensei, for presiding with this service. We know you're quite busy these days, and we're grateful that you're able to accommodate us. Thank you to Japanese Consul General Takahashi for your care and commendations to Dad. Thank you to the BC Legislative Assembly for remembering Dad. Thank you to Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim for your care and attention to Dad. And thank you, Ray. Thank you to the Asahi Baseball Association, especially Maggie Gardner and John Wong, for all their kindness and all their help in organizing today. Thank you to all the media that were always said such nice things and wrote about Dad's sporting accomplishments. A special thank you goes to Tom Hawthorne, Mike Hall, and John Mackey. Thank you to Adam Smith and Andy Chen for the video and audio work today. Thank you. I'd like to thank some very special people. Mrs. Pat Adachi of Toronto, Ontario, who wrote the 1992 book, Asahi, A Legend in Baseball. If it wasn't for her, the Asahi baseball history would have been forgotten, never to be told again, and lost in history forever. Mr. Norio Goto of Tokyo, Japan, who wrote the 2016 book, The Story of the Vancouver Asahi, A Legend in Baseball. He made it such an important story that it was broadcast all throughout Japan. Mr. Teruo Nakanishi of Fujisawa, Japan, and I may be mistaken on the city. But thank you to him for creating and promoting the Vancouver Asahi Baseball League display at the Yokohama Museum. And Mr. Yobun Shima of Tokyo, Japan, for his passionate research about the Vancouver Asahi Baseball League, the players and their families that went back to Japan after the war. A while ago, I asked Dad, if you continued playing baseball and became professional, what major league team would you have liked to have been drafted by? And Dad says, the LA Dodgers. Then he starts rhyming some names off. Pee Wee Reese, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Duke Snyder, Ray Campanella. I'm going, who are these people? So on Saturday, September 28th, I guess Dad got called up to the big leagues, the major leagues, all along with his Asahi teammates. So Dad, wherever you are, I hope you're playing ball with your favorite LA Dodgers team. Just as a side note though, guess who won the World Series? The LA Dodgers. So, I wonder if Dad was up there helping. Joyce, Ray, Kenny, Tamara, and myself are forever grateful to each and every one of you here today and watching on the video for your kindness and generosity given and shown to Dad. We owe you a large debt of gratitude. Okage samade, Dad would always say. I am what I am because of all of you. Fair play and good sportsmanship. And that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. It just turned out beautiful today. I have to thank Maggie and Ray again. They are the ones that put the slideshow together. And so it turned out perfect. And I'm not sure if the live streaming listened to the music, but that music was from one of Dad's favorite singers, a lady named Rimi Natsukawa. So. That's about it. Lunchtime. So before we have lunch, I'd like to ask Fujikawa Sensei to give a lunch blessing.
Celebrating the life of Mr. Kaye Koichi Kaminishi, we are gathered here for his memorial luncheon. I thank Amida Buddha for his spiritual guidance with his wisdom and compassion. I thank all ancestors and current members of the Kaminishi family for making this occasion possible. I thank all sentient beings for this wonderful food that we are about to take. 多くの命と皆様のおかげにより、このごちそうを恵まれました。深くご恩を喜び、ありがたくいただきます。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏。Let's eat.